In this lecture, we are going to learn about these buttons in here. In order to do that, we are going to use the class infinite loop, we are going to set a breakpoint in here, and we are going to start a new debugging session. The first button allows us to restart the execution. The next one we had already seen. It goes on with the execution until it finds a breakpoint which is active. If we hit it, we see it's printing lots of hellos because we are actually stuck in this infinite loop. We could set a breakpoint in here and we would stop whenever we hit. But what happens if you are stuck in your application in an infinite loop and you don't have any trace that tells you where you are actually stuck? Well, in that case, you have the pause button. So if we resume our execution and we hit the pause button, we will stop where the thread actually is. So we can use the debugger view in order to see where we are. We can go through the frame stack in order to see where we are in our code. So this is system code and this is my code, and I know where I am. This button we had already seen, it is the stop button. This one allows us to see all the breakpoints we have set in all our files. This view is fairly complex, so we are not going to see it right now, but we can see that the breakpoint is enabled or not. Here we can see where the file and the line is. We can see if it suspends all the threads or just the current thread, many things. And here we have a preview. The next button allows us to mute breakpoints. That means you are not going to stop the execution of the program even if you hit a breakpoint because they are not active. If we go to the console and we hit play again and we put the breakpoint in here, I forgot the breakpoint, you can see that you have to hit play again and again because it stops at the breakpoint. But if we hit mute breakpoints, you can see icons have changed to gray, and if we hit play, it won't stop. So we are going to take it away. The next one allows you to make a snapshot of what the state of the threads is. So if I hit it, I can see which threads I have in my application and which state they are in. For example, the main one is executing this function. As you can see here, these ones are from the system and you can know where they are. You can export it to a file in order to give that to someone else, so maybe that person could help you with your problem. And the last thing we are going to see is this gears button in here. This is the settings button regarding debugging executions, and it allows you to change some of the options in a quick way, whether if we show values in line, if we show return values, I don't know actually what this is, or if you want to unmute breakpoints on session finish. That means if you have hit this button in here, do you want to unmute it when you hit stop? And that's all for this lecture.